Hey everybody, this is Brian. I have a short passage here. It's just 3 verses, looking at Matthew chapter 6, looking at fasting. And I think to sum it up, if you're going to fast, just like if you're going to pray, you want to do it sincerely. You want to meet people honestly. You have to say, I'm putting this aside so I can focus on my relationship with God. Traditionally, in the Bible, we see it's done with food. Modern Christendom, a lot of people have said, I'm putting on this for Lent, or I'm taking off this for Lent, for those of you who've participated in Lent. A lot of Irish Christians participate in Lent, and they do it in kind of a liberal way. They say, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to put on something." I actually decided to put on exercise for Lent when I lived in Dublin, and that was pretty cool. But traditionally, we're talking about you know putting off food, and some people were making a big deal about their fasting. Look how religious I am. Um, Christ is saying go the other direction, but let's read what he has to say. Fasting, Matthew chapter 6 verses 16 through 18. When you fast, do not look somber as the hypocrites do. Oh, I'm so in pain and religious. Yeah, that sort of thing. For they disfigure their face to show others that they are truly fasting. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward in full. He said that before. He said that in the last passage when he's talking about prayer. It's like their reward is, I'm doing a performance for you, and you're reacting, oh, look at that person, they're so religious. Um, Verse 17. But when you fast, put oil on your head and wash your face. So wash yourself, uh, go out like you normally would when you want to be generally presentable. Um, it's um, go out. You don't have to even tell people that you're fasting. Now, in Romania, it's more common to fast than it is America. In America, people tend to get together and let's fast over this. Maybe they're going to start a new ministry. Maybe they're going to do this. So in America, uh, Protestant Christians tend to say, hey, you know what? We're going to do this kind of fast together. Like maybe a study will say we're doing this kind of fast. Some people will choose to do a personal fast. But yeah, let me go on to the last verse in this passage, verse 18. So that you so it, that it will not be obvious to others that you are fasting, but only to your Father who is unseen, and your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. The next passage is going to talk about treasures in heaven. Okay, so yeah, we can thank God. Yeah, I guess I'll talk more about that tomorrow. But yeah, you don't have to put on a show of religiosity. You know, you we can come to the Bible, we can read the Bible, we can get truth out of the Bible, and we can be thankful for that truth that we're getting. And you know, um, this the word that God gives you, a lot of that, could be that can be interpreted in the relationship itself that you have with God while you are fasting. If you go to God saying it's like, hey, you know what? I gave this up for you, you know, that's not as helpful. Not that you can't wonder about things that you've put aside for him, but it's also, but I mean, that's where it's like, but it's not like you're trying to like hold God to your contract. You know what I mean? Um, that's it's not going to work. So so you have to do this purely. Now, I'm sure that a lot of people who are experiencing real frustration, real suffering, real hard times, real poverty, real real dangers, they have a lot of questions to ask. You know, why are we in uh, this kind of in these systems that keep people poor? Why are we in these systems that put a huge wealth gap between the the super upper class, the middle upper class, and everything below? So, I mean, there's more and more distance being made there. And, I think God meets us all. But we have every reason to ask the question, you know, Lord, why are we at where are we at? And how are these things supposed to be interacting each other in a form of justice? Maybe that's something to fast about. Who knows? You know what you should be fasting about. And I pray that wherever you are, if you choose to fast, God will present you with the wisdom that you need, not necessarily the wisdom you want. Okay, you guys take care. And uh, next time, I'm going to be reading about treasure in heaven. A lot of times people try to materialize that here on earth, but we're going to talk about treasure in heaven, see what Christ has to say about that. This is Brian Davidson. If you need a Bible, check the links below. I'm going to go to sleep. I love you guys. Bye bye. Take care. Good night.